So you can just take a moment to just adjust to the change. Part of our practice is taking a breath whenever we're going through a transition or we're adjusting to a change. It's just really great to be mindful of the breath because it's with us no matter what, wherever we go, until, of course, the time of death. I had someone ask me that once. They said, why would I rely on the breath when at the time of death it's going to go away from me? Right? That's not very helpful, you know? The thing is that when you get into concentrated practice and you get very deep into jhana, the breath becomes so light, so small, so minimal, because the mind is so clear and working, so present, that the breath, you stop focusing on the breath. You focus on what is arising and passing in the mind. And that becomes your practice. It becomes deeper, wider, more spacious. And then you kind of, in a way, when you transition between the jhana and the next jhana, you kind of go, yeah, I don't need the breath. The breath is so subtle. I don't need to go, focusing on it. So that is also part of our practice, is letting go of the breath as we deepen in our concentration. And today we're going to be working with RAIN: recognize, allow, inquire, and nurture. And I thought that today we would explore practicing RAIN with your core values. Excuse me. I had a particularly challenging week this past week. I'm okay. Everything is all right at this point. But what if you were suddenly given a terminal diagnosis? What if you went in for your exam of some kind and you got a result that said, nope, you need to come back here right now? Some of you have probably had that, right? How many people here have had are survivors of cancer? 1, 2, 3. I've seen hands go up. You can put a check mark or your name into the chat. I think it'd be really helpful for us to see. I had a very intensive experience with the healthcare system this past week, and I'm okay. It turned out to be benign, but could have gone the other way. I could have been on a different journey right now. So I wanted to ask you, what if you didn't have that much time? So, also a couple years ago, I was really very sick and I needed to go to the ER for COVID. And I was very sick, and the doctors were very concerned about my heart. And they said, this is serious. And my son came to me and I said, look, if I die tonight, I would like you to go upstairs in the attic and go over in the corner where I have those shelves. And the third shelf down, I have a manuscript that I wrote like 10 years ago. And I want you to read it. It's the most important thing to me. It's the most important thing. And they just went, Mom, no. But guess what? Then as soon as I came home from the hospital, I was okay. I mean, they fixed me up, but my sons came in the front, they came in the door and went straight to the attic to see what was on the shelf. And a year later, we got this. My book, the memoir, came out. And I worked very, very hard on it for the next year because that was the most important thing, was what I needed to express to them. The book is dedicated to them. And it's dedicated to all beings who would like to awaken. And it shares my journey. And everyone has their own journey. We're each different. We're different, which is why I like to work with people individually, because you're very different, each one of you. And so what if you didn't have that much time? It doesn't have to be a book. Maybe for you, it's just organizing some of your healthcare. Just this past week, I started considering which hospital system would I like to be with. Looking at the reviews for each one, where would I go? I mean, It could be just like, maybe I'll research that this week. Maybe there's something that's important. Maybe it's taking time to see the sunrise every day or the sunset. Are you a sunriser or sunsetter? I'm both. I like both. Why not? Go for it. Yeah, I like both the sunrise and the sunset. And even if it's cloudy, I like to just see that change in the twilight as the light comes in and as the light goes out. Maybe you've been operating in overwhelm and you need to focus on some more quietude, bringing peace into your life over the next 6 months. So the prompt is really like, in using rain practice, is there something that's most important? What's most important to you? If you had a terminal diagnosis or you had maybe 6 months to live, what's coming up? What comes to mind that would really help you like clear the slate and go, this is what's most important? It could be as simple as like having that cup of tea in the morning or coffee, whatever, and just really being with that without any screens, without any phone or anything else, and just really being present with yourself in some really beautiful and sacred way. So that's the introduction to the rain practice. Yes, I decided that it wasn't important to dye my hair anymore. I thought, yeah, let's just let it go. I don't need to be vain, or I don't need to be concerned about that. What's more interesting to me is what's coming out of my heart. So, yes, there have been changes. What's most important? So, let's set aside distractions and I'll ring the bell. We'll start with our rain practice and we'll run it here for a bit, about 15 minutes, and just really inviting and recognizing what is the most important thing for you right now that you would really like to bring attention and kindness and compassion to, and let it be about you and something reasonable. It could be a longing for something, like maybe it could be a number of things, but let it be just for today, really simple. What can you do? I love the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can. And that's what this is about. Rain is about courage to change the things you can, to meet that within you. So let's begin. So you might be a little bit shaky from the introduction. Let's just let the waters calm down, be soothing, relaxing, bringing your attention inward. You can close your eyes or just look around your space. Notice that you're feeling safe. Or you could look around the screen and go, wow, I'm not alone. Just as your lap is holding your hands, we are holding one another right here and now around the globe. You can imagine like a hug going around the earth and penetrating into you right now. The light of awareness. So just recognize something that you would like to work with, bringing it to mind. It could be an unmet desire, something that's been sitting around in your life that you would like to pay attention to. And you're just allowing, letting it be there. Sometimes our regrets are actually speaking to us and asking us to do something, to offer ourselves to life in a way that's more meaningful. See if you can recognize a wholesome value in the midst of this difficulty. And just allowing this particular difficulty and this core value to work with it. Just be here for now. This increases our capacity, opens us up, gives us some tolerance and some resilience to work with something that's difficult. And again, if you have many, many regrets, just pick one simple thing, because that has a radiant effect on everything in your life if you focus on one thing in a wholesome way, with loving attention, just letting it be there without judging it. And notice the tension in your body. There might be, your shoulders are creeping up. You can just relax, soothe yourself. Let your shoulders relax. Notice your jaw and your beautiful face. Just letting it be naturally expressing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing into the heart space. And remember that allowing doesn't mean that you like it. It just means that you're acknowledging what's happening right now in the moment. Noticing if you're pushing away the experience, not wanting it, is also really helpful. To just be aware of that. Pushing away, the not liking, not wanting. Breathing in. You're just letting it be there. And you might begin by asking, what wants attention? You could even circle in on it, just entering the neighborhood of this particular tension a little bit more. As you're feeling able, if it feels overwhelming, you can just toggle back out into the space around the body and breathe in a way that feels nourishing. You can do this. This is the life of the moment. Just feeling into the place of failure or desire or judgment. Ask yourself, what am I believing when this is happening? And where do you feel it most in the body? And getting curious about it. Is there a feeling of clenching or perhaps an ache in your throat? Or pinching off the breath? Just come back into nourishing the breath. Offering breath energy to these difficulties is a way of offering loving kindness. Letting the heart space really hold and work with this most important aspect of life for you right now. And as we're nurturing ourselves, coming into this space, calling on your wisdom. And one of the ways to do that is to, on the out breath, just ask, what might I learn from this practice today? And just put that like in a little bubble, like a child would blow a bubble, and they just blow it and it just goes off on the breeze. What might I learn from this? Letting go of the demander and just letting it go off on the breeze of the out breath. And just being open and listening on the in breath. You can nurture this vulnerability with awareness. And you can place a hand on your heart or someplace on your body where it hurts the most. Nurturing yourself, touching where it feels tender. The palm of our hand has a lot of energy and support, and we can offer that palm. Letting the energy flow from that place of vulnerability. That's where we begin to shift into compassion. And you can say, what words or messages does this part most need to hear? It could be, I'm not leaving you. I'm here. It could be remembering a wise friend in your life and what they might say to you. Just exploring what it means to really let in love, a sense of freedom and exploration of your human existence right here and now. And so, through the goodness that arises from this practice and through our act of sharing, may violence and delusion be eroded. May we radiate compassion for ourselves here and now. And may we each know the blessings of this human life.